Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking on Sins of the Father Cavalier gameplay, Lords Above, and we're going to be taking on that first quest, which is the Worthy, where Thor Ragnarok is the final boss. And the champions we're going to be bringing into this gameplay will be Captain Marvel, Nick Fury. We're going to take in Emma Frost to handle that shock from Thor Ragnarok himself. Thing also can handle shock, and Doctor Doom can handle shock. So in case it all goes doolally or terrible, we have 3 champions here that could handle that shock from him, Thor. Okay, so let's just take a look at what the other parts might look like. And as you can see, it's pretty much not that difficult for any one of these spots, but to complete the gameplay with Cavalier, we did it already with Epic gameplay. You saw that video yesterday, and we realized that Emma might be the best champion, and we will test that theory today because we got Emma in for this fight. This is the part with Abomination, and Captain Marvel has Tough as Nails, Mystic One, Crack in the Armor. Again, not terrible parts to take, but we're going to take the easier part today, which everyone should be taking first anyway, and not necessarily the easiest fighters to take on. But we are going up against Mcoc first, so let's see. He has Crack in the Armor. Each time a cosmic attacker lands an attack, they have a 10% chance, so you might want to bring cosmic champions into the gameplay. Tough as Nail, every 3 seconds, defender gains a permanent armor up buff. And then Mystic Wand, enemy nullify effects, 95% chance to fail, so Mystic champions will not be that effective in this gameplay. So let's just take a look at it. And again, when the defender is struck, reset the timer for creating an armor off buff. So no problem, we're going to take in Nick Fury first because we have the class advantage. And what we love to do with Mcoc is to go into him 1, 2 and run that heavy off. So we start that bleed and hopefully we get that internal bleed going. And there you go. You just want to intercept and fire off the heavy and hold that block for that SP1 once he has it. Pretty simple. Here we go. Fire off that heavy. He's always holding that block and he has that other block, so the heavy is the best way to take this guy down, and Nick Fury is probably the best one to do it with. Because he does have that bleed damage over time. And here you go. Gwenpool might be very good at this as well because she has that stun and that bleed and incinerate, so she's going to be pretty good for this as well. But Mcoc is going to be down with Nick Fury. Again, just intercept or run into him and fire off that heavy because he's going to go for that block anyway. And that's it. Tons of heavy attacks. And you can see he has that 5 shield, so he's tough as nails because we let that timer run off. So just pay attention to the timer. We're going to see this on the next fight. We're going to pay attention to that timer more. This was the first fight. We weren't really paying attention to it because we were just going to be using the bleeds on him anyway. But for the next fight, we're going to pay attention to that timer, and hopefully they don't get that tough as nail armor building. We're going to try to hit them before it happens. So again, tough as nails, every 3 seconds the defender gains a permanent armor up buff, increasing rating by 20% per stack. So we want to hit them before the timer on that tough as nail timer goes up and they get that armor buff. So again, let's just pay attention to that this time. And you guys watching the video, you guys pay attention to it as soon as possible, fight one, so you don't have a tougher fight with that armor being built. 20% per armor, 5 stacks, and it's 100%. Really difficult to take down then. Now you see the timer going up on the top right here as well. You want to hit him before that timer hits, because if you let the timer complete, he's going to get that armor up buff. So keep your attention to the top right, and make sure you hit the defender before the timer runs off, or he's going to get an armor up buff. See that happens? He gets 1 right now, so he's 20% more difficult to take down. We're going to be just firing off these heavies. Again, he got 2 armor up buffs now, because we weren't able to get into him because he was firing off an SP. So be careful with that. But again, he seems to be firing off that SP1 quite a lot, which is good, because you really don't want to push this guy to SP3. He's going to do a ton of damage on you. And that's why we bring in Nick Fury again for this fight. In the event he fires on my SP3, we actually could survive him. Here we go. He has that 5, but we already have 3 internal bleeds on him because we are using so many heavies that the damage over time is going to be doing its job anyway. So for these fights, damage over time champions really effective against that armor. Now we're coming up to the third fight, which is going to be Wolverine X23, and we are going to build the charges. Same thing, tough as nails. That's the one you got to look out for. We're going to be bringing in Captain Marvel, and the reason for Captain Marvel is she has that ton of armor break, plus she goes indestructible, and maybe we build her up to those 25 charges right now to go indestructible, or we could do it in the second fight. I'm thinking we're going to go indestructible soon. We're going to hold block, and we're going to fire into Wolverine X23. Again, you can see that timer going off on the top right. We want to time it so we get the hits in before the timer activates that shield. And again, she got 1 because it's not always possible based on the timing of her SPs. She got 2, but we're gonna try to keep hitting into her. There you go. We got that armor up break that actually removed the armor up that she was building from Captain Marvel. We have 25, we are indestructible, and she is done. But the beauty of this fight is now Captain Marvel is at 25 charges. So she's going to be unstoppable, she's going to be unblockable, and she is going to be indestructible going into this War Machine fight. So she is a perfect champion to rank up with that Wolverine X23 fight, because we're going to make mincemeat out of this War Machine. Hold that block and let them activate indestructible. We're gonna build the SP2, fire it off, check out the damage. We're gonna get those charges back by putting the heavies on. So once he goes stunned with the SP2, fire off your heavies so you could build the charges right back up close to 25 charges, so you start the next fight again close to being indestructible. And it happens to be a next tech champion, which is fantastic for this part because Captain Marvel is going to actually wreck him as well. He's still tough as nails, but he's not even going to get a chance to apply any of those shields. Here we go, we have 24 charges. 1 block actually puts us at indestructible. We're gonna fire that SP2. And then we're gonna fire off some heavies. Boom. Well, we didn't need to have fire off more than 1 heavy. 1 heavy and he's in the bin. And that's the end of him. That would have been a pretty tough fight if you did not have someone like Captain Marvel on the team to do that absolute massive damage instantly. Now, Captain Marvel for Captain America, or are we going to bring in Nick Fury? He has the same amount tough as nails stuff to look at. So Nick Fury damage over time should be good for this fight again. We could have gone with Captain Marvel and she would have wrecked it. But remember, this is testing gameplay, so we just want to test the different parts, see who's effective against who. And Captain America is going to go down. Yes, be careful about his SP2s, because that could instantly wreck you. But you're not too worried about that using Nick Fury, because this is still the decoy. And I love his medium attack as well, because it as the final hit, because you just back up the opponent, gives yourself some space to decide what to do next. Gonna fire the SP3. Okay, we got that on. He has his SP3 we pushed him to. We're not worried about it, because the most he can do is take us down to 1%. And then we're going to go into beast mode. This is the real Nick Fury, and we are just going to absolutely devastate him once we get some hits in. He has 4 shields up. We're trying to prevent him from that 5th shield. Fire it off, and that should be lights off. There you go. SP2 absolutely devastating again. So far we're doing pretty good. We have all our champions still intact. We haven't used some of them, and we wouldn't need to use some of them, because the final fight is going to be against Thor Ragnarok, and we're going to definitely bring in Emma for this fight. Power of Axis 1, they attack against 60% combat power rate while below 1 bar of power. So he's a specialist for SP2. So crumbling armor if the attacker hasn't landed a hit in 6 seconds, so we have to land hits. And energy adoption lightning, the defender has a 50% chance to inflict the attacker with shock each time the defender is struck. So, and then you have these effects will not trigger while the defender is suffering from a poison debuff. So you got poison, you got the buff with shock. So what you need to do with this fight is bring in that poison or shock immune champion. And the girl to handle this is Emma Frost. Once she is in the diamond form, there is no poison, there is no shock. She has immunities to everything. Our next good champion would be obviously Dr. Doom to handle the shock. But I don't think anyone has the amount of immunities in any gameplay as Emma Frost has. Now we could bring in again Captain Marvel, because she's indestructible, and we could finish off this store pretty easily, I'm thinking. But let's test our theory. As you can see, she's immune to all of that shock right now that he's applying. We're gonna fire the heavy to build on that prowess. And here we go. She's firing off the shock, but we have full immunity to shock, so we're not actually taking any damage from that. We're gonna fire the SP1 because we want to remain in diamond form, so we need to have less bars of power than he does. Unless, of course, you have a synergy with her, with Colossus, which means that if you're in the same bar of power, she's also stays in diamond form, but we didn't need him for this fight. Again, we're gonna fire that SP. We're gonna build this again, and we're gonna wreck him with his SP2. SP2 is absolutely devastating. SP1 we're gonna fire off so we could get back into that diamond form. He has a nice huge power gain. But again, once we're in diamond form, we're not worried about his SP3s. We're gonna pretty much tank the SP3 again. He's gonna go to SB3, so we're gonna stay in this diamond form. So we fire up the SB2, sure, why not? Boom. Now she's gonna automatically switch to diamond form if she's taking more than X percentage of damage here, so we should be fine. She's at 74%, he takes her down to 60, 58%, 43%. So let's fire up the SP1 to get back into diamond form. And we could take more damage. There we go. As long as he has more power than us, so we're going to be in that diamond form. Okay, back to the diamond form. Very little to no damage with his fights. So guys, there you have it. Thor Ragnarok is in the bin. That's how you beat and take down Sins of the Father Cavalier gameplay. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and don't forget to work less, play more, enjoy life. And that's the worthy, that's the rewards, that's the end of this gameplay. And again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave comments below on who you used, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.